Hey guys, welcome back to Minute on the Mountain. We are up camping for the 4th of July weekend, and I'm going to do an unboxing and initial overview on a trail camera that a group called iZEEKER sent. And I'm excited for this because I've never used a cellular trail camera. I've never had one that had the cellular capabilities. Most of the places where I hang a trail camera, you don't get cell service, so I don't even know if they work. I'm just going to plead ignorance. We'll have to see when I get it up there. But it'll be helpful because if you're a rookie at these cellular cameras like I am, I'll be able to tell you if it's easy to set up, if it's easy to download the app. Sorry, I got the bugs are pretty thick out here today. Or if it's a pain. So hopefully that'll be beneficial to some of you who are maybe just getting into using cellular trail cams. I do want to let you know too, my wife's getting ready to start making us some sausage and cheese bagels for breakfast, so there may be a little noise in the background. But let's just take a look at the packaging and what they tell you on the box itself. So here's what it comes in. Again, iZEEKER. 4G cellular network. It says no Wi-Fi, no wiring, works anywhere nationwide with 4G coverage. 360-degree viewing angle. Solar panel powered, and it does come with the solar panel. Two-way audio, so if you were using this as a security camera, you could speak into the camera through the app. That might be cool to try it. And maybe I will set it up in the yard somewhere, see if I can fool around with the neighbor's dog a little bit. All right, let's open the box and see what we have. So we've got the user manual. We've got some stickers to help you position your drilling holes for mounting the camera. This looks like a data plan, so I'm assuming this is for the images to be able to transfer them, the cellular through your cellular phone, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. Again, this is all new to me, guys, so some of you are like, yeah, John, that's what it is. Here's the solar panel. If it doesn't say what that measures, I'll measure it for you guys and give you the measurements of that solar panel when I do the final review. Got the mounting bracket, mounting arm here. And then here's the camera itself. Yeah, definitely unlike any other camera I have ever used. So I'll be excited to test this out. Now again, we're 4 hours from home. We're not going to hang this anywhere near here. In fact, maybe I will hang this at home. I know I have cell coverage there. And that way I can really test the functionality of it better. There's also a charging cord in here. And it comes with 32 gigabyte micro SD card. I did read it'll support up to 128 gig micro SD card. So that's what it comes with, gang. Oh, there's one more thing in here. Let's see what this is. I think that's just still a piece to the mounting bracket. So we'll get home, we'll go through the user's manual, we'll use the app, we'll get it all set up. I'll tell you if it's a pain or if it's pretty straightforward to do, and then we'll get some images on it and we'll see what we think. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is Pioneer Day here in Utah, July 24th. It's a state holiday here. And this camera's going nuts in my backpack. I don't know what it's trying to do. Anyway, I'm coming out to hang this cellular trail camera. And I know I turned it off before I put it in, so it must have gotten bumped in my backpack and it's turned on. It's trying to move. I can hear it. Anyway, it's from iZEEKER. I did the unboxing on our camping trip. I've been wanting to come up here and get this hung for forever. I've just been so busy. And I can only hang it for about a week because we have to have these pulled on the 31st. So hopefully we can get some footage. I went through all the setup, downloaded the app at home. I'm not blaming this on the company. I want to be fair to them. It's a pain. I scanned the QR code on it and I hit open browser on my phone like I normally do when I scan a QR code. It sent me to some garage door opener software.
Now I'm getting messages left and right from Google about stuff trying to access my account. It's just a pain. I downloaded the app that they tell you to download, U-Box, and then I just added a device. And when I scanned the QR code on the camera after setting that app up, it worked just fine. The instructions were a little confusing to me. Again, I'm not a tech guy. They're a little contradictory. One said to scan the QR code from the app. The other said to scan the QR code on the back of the camera and that it would open the app. So anyway, hopefully I don't lose all my personal information to Hippogo or whatever it is that's trying to get all my stuff. And again, it's just weird. I can hear this camera in my backpack going left and right trying to turn on. So anyway, let's go get it hung. Hopefully we get some footage, and hopefully we get some good footage so I can give you guys my feedback on it, and then we'll go from there. Sorry for the glare. All right, we've got the iZEEKER cellular trail camera hung. We've got the solar panel hung that charges it. I did charge it with the USB cable before I left the house. It says it'll give you about 2 months run time, depending upon the settings you have it on. I've got the motion sensor set to medium. I'm already getting the notifications on my phone that it has activity, so I know it's picking up video of me as I'm setting it up. I've had 8 or 9 notification bells go off on my phone, so that's all working correctly. So we're gonna leave it up here a week, come back and pull it off and see what kind of footage we have. Hopefully we've got more footage than just me and my face in the way while I was setting it up. I'm still sporting this 35-liter day pack from New View Hunting, and man, I just love it. I had the trail camera in the box with all the stuff. I had the drill in there. I've got a couple bottles of water because it's 96 degrees. It is hot today, and it rode really well. Still been super impressed with that. And silly me, that wasn't the camera that was moving around in my pack. It was the drill. The trigger for the drill was getting hit, and that's what was making the noise in my pack. But anyway, we'll leave this up for a week, and hopefully we come back and we've got some deer on here. Maybe some coyotes, maybe a mountain lion. Who knows what we'll have. But hopefully we'll at least get a few deer pictures. Time to wrap up the video with my final thoughts on the iZEEKER cellular trail camera. So here's again the box, here's the camera itself. I mentioned earlier when the unboxing that I would measure the solar panel, so I wanted to get you those measurements. In fact, here is the solar panel right here. And that solar panel measures 6 7/8 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Those are the measurements. And the power cord that you can attach from the solar panel to your trail camera is 9 foot 5 inches. So they give you a pretty good length of cord, which I think is important, because you may want to position your camera on one side of a thicker tree, but to get more sunlight for the solar panel, you might want to position the solar panel on the other side of the tree. So 9 foot 5 inches is the length of the cord on that. So here are my thoughts on the camera. Again, I'm a total rookie to cellular trail cameras. I've never used them before. The sensor on this was great at picking up movement. And I had it on the medium setting. I could have even set it higher. But I had footage of birds walking 25 feet from the camera, and it picked them up. You probably noticed the deer pictures, they're barely in the frame. when it triggers, they're not all halfway through the frame, for example, or halfway through the area before it picks up. So I was really impressed with the sensitivity of the sensor. In fact, I had dozens and dozens of false triggers where it was just wind blowing the weeds, wind blowing the grass. That's not the camera's fault. That's just going to happen. And I could have reduced the sensitivity and put it on low and probably eliminated some of those. Now, the one thing that I noticed is the videos all seemed very pixely. Here's where my ignorance about the whole cellular trail camera comes in. I don't think that has anything to do with the camera. I think it has to do with the cell service in the area, with the connection. So I put it in an area where I had cell service, but very little. I only had like 2 bars in that area. And I think that contributed to a couple of other things. The notification feature on the app on my phone worked great. Every time that camera was triggered, I got a notification through the app on my phone. But when I would check the app, several times it said no videos uploaded to the cloud. So I knew a video had taken place, I knew something triggered it, but I couldn't view the video on my phone. Now when I pulled the SD card, all those videos were there. And I think though that's just because it was in an area that didn't have great cell service, great reception, so it wasn't able to upload those videos to the cloud. But the notifications went great. I forgot to test the two-way part of the microphone. So one of the features of this camera is through the app, you can speak into it and your voice will carry out through the camera. I was going to test that feature. I just forgot to do it. I realized as I was wrapping up the video. I didn't have any issues with my data being messed up. Earlier in the video you heard me say that when I first scanned the QR code on the camera, it sent me to the wrong place. Now, the QR code reader I have on my phone, I can either select open browser or just open. And I need to select open browser because there happened a couple times I select open and it doesn't take me to the right place, so it had to fly on me. So I think that was more my QR code reader than it was an issue with the phone. I do stand by my statement earlier though that the directions, the setup instructions are a little confusing. One of them tells you to scan the QR code first. The other, at least seems to me, tells you to scan the QR code through the app. So download the U-Box app, from Google Play or from the iStore, Apple Store, excuse me, and then scan the QR code. When I did that, it worked fine. And I didn't have any issues with my data. No data got stolen. Now, on the camera itself, where your SD card goes and where the power strip is, or the power button, and where the SIM card goes, there's this rubber flap. And they tell you to make sure that that gets sealed completely, that you completely close it to keep moisture from getting inside and messing up with your SIM card, your SD card, your electronics. There was a massive thunderstorm that came through one night. I mean, it downpoured, not for very long, but it rained really hard, super high winds, and I did not have any issues at all with the SD card or with the SIM card. No moisture got inside, so as long as you make sure you press that down and seal it well, you're not going to have any issues with the weather. So my overall thoughts, again, I think if you were in an area with better cell reception, I think this camera would be phenomenal. I could really see you using it on your property as a security camera even, because of the notifications you can get when it's triggered. I think that would be a fantastic feature. Just where I live in Utah, where I hunt, most of the places I hunt, there isn't cell service, period. So I'm just not sure how it would perform. It would still take pictures, it would still download those to the SD card, but as far as the notifications through your app and uploading those videos to the cloud, I'm not sure how that would perform. It retails for $149. I'm going to put a link in the description where you can check it out if you're interested in it. I did some price comparisons, and for cameras with all the same features, $149 seemed to be, at least on Amazon, on the low end of the price scale. I saw one or two other cameras for $149, but most of them that I saw that had all the same features were $169, $189, or $199. So I think you're getting a pretty good value for what you're paying. So I want to say thank you to iZEEKER for allowing me to do the test. Again, I'll put a link in the description to the camera itself. And I'm going to clean this up and we'll wrap this video up with the Minute on the Mountain. Okay, let's wrap this up with the Minute on the Mountain. We're still in the book of Judges, and we're coming to kind of the end of Samson's story, one of the most famous stories in the book of Judges, Samson and Delilah. So this picks up in chapter 16 and beginning in verse 4. It says, "Sometime later, Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah who lived in the valley of Sorek. The rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, 'Entice Samson to tell you what makes him so strong and how he can be overpowered and tied up securely. Then each of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver.'" Now, it doesn't say how many different rulers specifically came to her, but if each one of them were giving her 1,100 pieces of silver, that would have been a fortune. So Delilah takes the bait. Delilah wants the money. She's willing to betray Samson, and she says, "Tell me what makes you so strong and what it would take to tie you up." And then Samson gives her a fake answer. So he says at the beginning, "Tie me up with 7 new bowstrings that have not yet been dried. I'll be as weak as anyone else." So he does that, and it doesn't work. And she says, "You've been making fun of me." And here's what's crazy. She has men hiding in the room, and they come out and try to overpower him, but they can't. So Samson knows Delilah is going to betray him. He comes up with another thing, and he's not telling her the truth again. "If you weave the 7 braids of my hair into the fabric on your loom and tighten it with the loom, I would become as weak as anyone else." So she does that again. And again, she cries out, "Philistines have come to capture you." But he woke up, pulled back from the loom shuttle, and yanked his hair away from the loom and the fabric. And she nags him again and says, "How can you tell me I love you when you won't trust me with this?" So eventually he tells her, it's my hair. If you cut my hair, I'm going to be as weak as any man. And of course she cuts his hair. The Philistines come in, they capture him, they gouge his eyes out. And I mentioned this a little bit on the last video, but here's what's so heartbreaking. Samson had already been betrayed by another woman when he had told her a riddle, an answer to a riddle, and she told it to her family, and it cost Samson dearly. He just clearly didn't learn from his mistakes. And he was told to never cut his hair. So it's not just that he was foolish and allowed himself to be betrayed. He sinned by allowing them to cut his hair. That went against the Nazirite vow that he had made. He was sinning by doing that. So clearly what Samson had done is he had elevated Delilah, his love for Delilah, his desire for Delilah, over his relationship with God, over obedience to God. It's another reminder that we can take a good thing. Relationships in and of themselves aren't bad. Loving our spouse, loving our family, of course, it's not only not bad, that is good. But if we make that the most important thing in our life, we've now created an idol from that. And that is not a good thing. Jesus said the 2 greatest commands are love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. God needs to be number 1 on the list. He's worth it. He's worthy of our love, worthy of our praise. So that's Minute on the Mountain. That's probably the last one we'll do in the book of Judges. I may squeeze in one more, but it won't be about Samson and Delilah. But thanks so much for all the support, guys. Again, I'll put a link in the description for the iZEEKER 4K trail cam. And I appreciate all the support you guys give me. Hope you have a blessed week. See you the next time we're out on the mountain.